Hi, welcome to McBoss Capital channel. My name is Michael. This is a market recap for the week ending May 10th, 2024. And if you are watching this, please like and subscribe. That will be very supportive of our channel. Thank you. I'm going to start off with the Dow chart today because it is looking very strong. It's on a 8-day winning streak. And you can see right here, and last Friday was a gap up day, and we went over the red line, which is the 50 days moving average, and look at how it kind of came above it, and it really didn't want to go back down after that, which is very significant because it shows there's some power behind this current rally. On Thursday, we have another powerful day right here. You can see it was a huge move. Now, both those days, last Friday and Thursday, we didn't get enough volume down here to signify a follow-through day. Usually what you need is you need at least 1% jump or higher, which we did on both of those days. Like, well, on Thursday it was 0.85, but anyhow, we haven't got enough volume, so you can see the volume is kind of a little bit drifting downward. Now we are approaching this previous high, 39,889, which is very close to 40,000 range. So right now it does appear that the market wants to head towards it right here. Now we have CPI data coming out and PPI data coming out this week. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm guessing we did have a slight reversal on Friday. Like, it's a very tiny reversal. You couldn't even see it on here. So I go to 15-minute chart. We have this gap up right here. Now Dow is the strongest index right now, just because it has undergone the the longest streak right now, as well as it just looks a lot better. So it did close pretty not as bad as some other index on Friday. So yeah, so it did still close strong. The weekly chart, you can see we have broke out long time ago, as in the in the November rally to like late March, and then April we had this 2-day pullback, really strong pullback, and then we have bounced, like in this case 4 weeks in a row, and this week was very prudent because we came back above the 10-week moving average, which is the red line. So and we go back to daily chart. This was something we mentioned before, how you see it just didn't want to go lower. You have about 5 days here trying to test this low right here, 37,611. It just didn't want to go down, and then right here it was another one, and then right here there was another almost 3 days here. And each of those tests, like, it just didn't want to go lower. No, like, it just keep making higher lows. And then, like I said, we had this gap up last Friday, and then once that happened, it didn't look back. And that's another thing, it never looked back after that. So why I'm keep drilling into this detail is because from a technical perspective, it is despite the volume not being there since the Friday, it is very strong, right? Other than the volume not showing up, the volume could show up later, and maybe the market just really needs some reassuring news. Who knows? It could come from the CPI data. If inflation do go down, eventually, like even if it doesn't go any higher, maybe market will be very soothed and giving, you know, the Fed a chance to cut rates later this year. So that I think the market is definitely setting up for it. Like I said, we are very close to it. We are at 39,512. So you know, if we have a very strong rally, like a 2% day, we will pass 40,000 for sure. So with that being said, like I said, we are setting up for it, and so we just need to watch for this. And again, we want to see volume comes in. Once it definitely on the breakout, I would say we need to see volume. Otherwise, I will find this rally quite suspicious, because this level, you know, like, you know, has been tested a few times here, and so I would assume lots of people, you know, the bears were gonna sell when they hit this level, but then the buyers will come in to propel it higher. So we should see lots of volume at this level usually when it tries to break out. So something to watch for. But like I said, Dow is the strongest index right now, and which is very surprising, because usually when you have a rally, you don't think like industrials are gonna lead. But you know, it is the case right now. So the Nasdaq chart is very similar. We have, again, last Friday we had this gap up, but again, the volume was a little bit lower than the previous day. So no follow through days confirmed by IBD. And this week we had a strong Monday. Actually, it was a gap up. But by Friday, it didn't move as much. So it kind of stayed stagnant. But we are very close to the breakout zone here. And so that again, I think the market wants to see some reassuring news, especially coming from CPI data this week. So if we get that, then we could break out. And again, we want to see higher volume. As you can see right here, down here, you can see the volume is much lower than usual. Like 4 out of 5 days this week was much lower than usual, which is very interesting. So you know, but technically, yeah, we are on the uptrend. You can see all the moving averages starting to climb. Another important factor is how the green line and also yeah, the green line mainly it's above the 50-day line right now on the red line. The 21-day, which is very hard to see for you guys, probably the pink line, it's a little bit under the 50-day right now. Now Nasdaq tend to obey the 21-day line pretty well. Now the 21-day and 10-day, as you can see here, are usually pretty close together. So yeah, but now that the 10-day is above the 50-day, we're gonna want to see the 21-day also climb above the 50-day. Now when that happens, which it did right here in November, we have a really strong rally after, right? And it stayed above the 21 above the 50-day for a long time. And I think after 10 days, that's when IBD will start counting what's called power trend. And when we have 10 days of power trend where the short-term moving averages are above the long-term, like longer term, like the 50-day, we have a very strong trend. So we're hoping to get something like that again. So we'll see. Right now we're still very early. Let's say we're still waiting for the 21-day to come above the 50-day to you know, and then once we have enough data, like 10 days, then the, you know, if the market can maintain that strength, then a power trend will follow, and again, investors will start to power in to the market again. So right now it's kind of let's say we're getting very close to this breakout line on Nasdaq as well, and so we want to see what the news will do this week on CPI. On the weekly chart, we had this strong, you know, 21 weeks up, and then we had like a 4-week downtrend here, but we did bounce back pretty quick. That's something that I find very interesting, how fast it bounced back. Like, you know, right now we're on the 3 weeks now, but we are almost near high already. So that's a very good bounce back. Yeah. So one of the things, this is S&P chart. One of the things that they talk about is the retracement line. So we draw the previous high, and we draw it across here, right here, and then we see this rally. What happens is that from the low to the high here, we actually at about close to a near 50% retracement, and so yeah, so that was interesting. And now we are bouncing back as well. So in the daily chart for S&P, very similar to the other indexes, we are getting close to this previous high right here. Again, very strong uptrend, as you can see right now. We don't have a follow through day again on this index as well, so volume hasn't come in. It's a little bit under average most of the days, and also hasn't been higher than the previous day on those up days, big up days like last Friday here. So again, we're getting close to this previous high, and I'm gonna assume that we need the CPI news to make it go higher. So on here, I think on the intraday chart, again, we have this strong gap up on Friday morning, but then it reversed. It's not as bad as it looks. We did see a little bit of buying at the end of the day. And we go to Nasdaq. We see a similar story right here, a gap up right here, and then it fell really hard the first hour, and then it just kind of did nothing for the rest of the day. So again, the market, definitely anticipating this coming week is CPI data, which is a big deal, because the market really wants to see the inflation just not going higher, really, and that's gonna, because we have 3 months of data that is January to March, that is stronger than in general than expected, but yet the market, been holding on so far, and now we, it's quite interesting that we are at this juncture, we are not only near new highs, but despite all this data that came out from inflation side. So the market really do anticipate that, and part of the reason, why we had this rally right now is, since the last Fed day, the Wednesday, right here at the bottom, right here, no, not quite at the bottom, but that day was the Fed day, and Powell came out and said, hey, there's no rate hike and there's no stagflation, and those are two big things the market really feel at ease once they heard it, and the market has really took off after that. We came back above the the retracement, which is about 50% line right there, and we came back above that, and then we've been, again, this is very important. It's one thing to come above a trend line that goes down, but it's another thing to actually stay above it and keep going higher. It's a very two different characteristic, right? So like I said, we have both of those. We came above it, and we actually went higher, and still holding on to that gains. So this is a very powerful technical characteristics, and like I said, we are trying to challenge this new high very soon. But we do want to be careful, because Friday, like I said, was a reversal day, and it's not a very super bad. Like, it's not like, hey, we were up 1% and then down 2% by the end of the day. But still, we want to watch for this. Now the volume also came in lower, so that's also good news, because on a down day you don't want to see too much volume. So that's just the indexes, right? But if we look at stocks later, you will find a lot of stocks are holding strong since they break out. That's a very strong sign of a good market rally. Is that stocks not only did they break out, but they're actually holding on to their gains and maybe even go higher after that. So that's again, these two things actually give me a lot of confidence. Besides the fact that my portfolio did go up quite a bit this week. So those are the three things. The indexes, what are they doing? Are they doing well? And your stocks, the leaders especially. And when I say leaders, they could change, right? And so it doesn't have to be the same leaders as last rally. And last week's video, we talked about that. So we will see lots of new names that are taking leadership right now. We continue to see that, and earnings have wind down. So most stocks have already reported, and I think the leaders that are leading right now, they're probably going to be continue to be the leaders in this rally if the rally continues. So we'll talk about that in the second half of the video, who those leaders are. But right now, we're just getting very close to this new high here, and I'm very excited because if we do get a tame kind of CPI report, the market could really take off from here, because that will give the Fed the ability to actually cut rates in the second half of this year, and so that's really exciting. Now for the Russell, the small cap, we did have a pretty ugly reversal on Friday. So this one was the weakest index on Friday. We can see this gap up right here, and there's some data missing here. Let me see. Let me refresh. So yeah, there's some, I don't know what happened here, but anyhow, it did come back down, and that was the bad news on Friday for smaller cap. And it closed pretty much at the lows here. So I think that's not as good of a sign compared to the other index. And let me come back to daily chart. But overall, when you look at from a day, for the last couple of weeks, what we do see this uptrend going up really strong. That's the slope of the 10-day line. That is a very strong slope. And Russell is just more volatile than others. You can see all the drop are very significant, as well as the bounce are very sharp. So we are seeing the same thing right now. I saw this sharp drop, back in early April, and it dropped quite a bit. I mean, it dropped, it did find support near the 200-day moving average, and obviously this long-term uptrend was broken. This red 50-day moving average, it was it was just going up pretty good, and then now it's still going up, but it's just more stable kind of thing, not as fast, right? But right now, the chart does look really good. Why I say that, if you discount Friday, is again, we had the same last Friday. All the indexes were above their 50-day moving average, except for Russell, because it closed slightly below it. So again, same problem like this last Friday, it kind of started out strong, but then it closed weak, right? But then Monday, again, it took off, and then Wednesday we came close to it, to the red line, but we didn't undercut it. In fact, it bounced back on Thursday, really strong. Thursday, was a really strong day for my portfolio. One of the best days I've had since the pandemic. Since 2022. So I'm very surprised by this day. A lot of the leaders were really, showing their strength that day, and then on Friday, like I said, it did give back a lot of it. So that was the negative, right? So we'll see. We are still quite a bit above the red line. Now the other thing that's happening is this green line, which is the 10-day moving average. It's now trying to cross this red line, right? Just so again, this is a very good progress if we can cross above it and also stay above it, right? Now for Russell, we've seen this problem so many times now. We have this 2000 level that just constantly the index just keep coming back to right here, 2000 right here, and you can see it just like stuck in this trading range for a long time, like 1900 at the lows. But this time we got to 1931, and then near the top 2100s right here, and 2000 is where really the median, like it keep coming back to the median. And so now we let me clear this now, and we now in the second half, right, in the second half of this range now. So hopefully, of course, this is compared to other index are nowhere near the high. So yeah, if we're gonna see all the indexes break out, I would expect the Russell really power strongly to catch up, and so that could happen if again CPI data is tame this Wednesday. So we'll watch for that. One of the other things I want to talk about is I'm considering myself a trend follower. So what that means is we're looking for trends, and right now we do see this trend emerging, where again the moving averages really dictate that quite a bit, because that's the signify the technical strength. And so we are starting to see, like I said, this same momentum going. Now you can see this slope is much stronger than this one. At least maybe maybe that's not fair, because right here the slope was quite strong too when it first started. So but then obviously it kind of you see right here. So this is what happened last time. It tried to break out, but instead it didn't break out right away. It went sideways for like quite many days before it moves higher right here. So I don't know, we will see that this time. It could possible. Obviously the worst thing is to see it reverse and go back down again to the 50-day line right here. That would be not ideal. But if it goes sideways or like on near the highs, that's a good sign, because that just means it's holding all the gains recently, and then eventually it will take off, right? Or whether we just gonna see it plow through this time, and like I said, the CPI data, if it's tame enough, depending on how tame it is, it could really signify a real power day that day, easily 2% day kind of thing, and we will surpass this easily. So those are the scenarios that could happen. Of course, if inflation went the other way, which is continue to go back higher, then we're gonna see this rally falter, and we're gonna come back to the 50-day in no time. So that's another scenario that could happen. So yeah, let me look at the notes for this week. There's not much news. On Monday, the headline was market breadth is improving. We saw stocks outnumber decliners by a 7:5 ratio, and also on Nasdaq and 3-to-1 ratio on NYSE. The New York Stock Exchange Wednesday decline line is near a new high, and the Nasdaq A-D line is lagging by a little bit, but it has turned higher. So we did see a breadth in positive shift in breadth in the stock market so far in May, which is and the gap between 10-day moving average of stocks stocks up in volume versus stocks down is also continue to widen in the bulls' favor. We also see the New York Stock Exchange 10-day average of new highs versus new lows also move in the bulls' favor, and the Nasdaq also new lows, but it still top new highs. So, but the trend is going towards the new highs. So on Friday, again the reversal on Friday, again not that bad. It only really showed a lot on the Russell. We had a promising open, but then it faded because the University of Michigan Conservative Consumer Sentiment Index for May fell nearly 10 points to 67.4, well below economists' expectation of 76. So again, definitely lots of signs consumers are weakening in terms of spending, and so that will definitely continue to show going forward. Next week we're gonna see again the PPI on Tuesday, so and then on Wednesday the April CPI Consumer Price Index and retail sales data for both April will come out. And right now the headline CPI is seen rising 3.4% year over year, while the core reading, which does not include food and energy, is expected to rise 3 to 3.6% year over year. So those are numbers we are watching for. And then on the earnings side, again, most of the earnings are already out. So I think like over 85% of S&P has already reported. So I think the market, like I said, has really shown a lot of strength so far, despite the earnings season and all the guidance. Of course, many stocks are also being beaten down, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, this coming week, we have Walmart, Home Depot, Cisco, on. So not too many stocks. So obviously, Walmart and Home Depot are going to represent a lot of the consumers. So again, I expect to see some weakness there. But how bad is it? I don't know. We'll see. And market may react to that, right? So it's going to be, overall, like I say, the market has shown a lot of strength. And volatility is definitely still there, but just not, as crazy as a few weeks ago. So this is the S&P 500 chart right here. But we can see the advanced decline line is this is the part that impressed me the most, is the advanced decline line actually make new high this week. And you can see down here, like Friday, so Thursday make new high, Friday came back down, right? So stocks down was a little bit more than stocks up. But I just, like really impressed, because this is on the uptrend, this is on the uptrend right here. And now we are starting this new uptrend, especially now that we have a new high on Thursday. Like I said earlier, the volume is a little bit lower than usual, and that's the only negative. And then for Nasdaq, it's the weaker one. You see the advanced decline line is not near the previous high or even the recent high right here. But it has made progress, right? It has made, but like I said, I think the S&P is just much stronger underneath in terms of the overall participation. And even on Friday, you can see like 2,100 stocks down, 1,300 stocks up. So definitely Nasdaq is still having lots of trouble in terms of breadth, but S&P has done a lot better. So that's the advanced decline line there. So the 10-year yield has been dropping for almost 2 weeks now, which is kind of a little bit coincide with the rally as well, right? And you can see we are coming, it has come down and then it went sideways, and now we're coming back to the 10-day. So it's on a downtrend. As long as it doesn't come above this, downtrend line, which is the short-term moving average right now, then I could see this rally continue, right? So we'll see. But if it does bounce back above, then we're definitely gonna see more volatility in the stock. So that's that. And then we have the US dollar, very volatile recently. You can see right here. And right now, again, it's kind of still on a downtrend. So we'll see what happens here, whether it will break through this downtrend line or not and come back up. And then we have oil. So oil on Friday was definitely, you can see again, this is the downtrend line, and you can see it got rejected on Friday. So that's very interesting. And when we talk about oil, like from a month ago, which is near this high right here, this is the positive I'm going to see, right? Like the CPI data, part of it is going to be quite a bit of oil there, and so this is going to help with the inflation data. I don't know how much, but but this is going to help with it. So hopefully this downtrend here, since the oil price has come back lower, could help the inflation numbers a bit. So we'll see. Gold, very interesting chart here. Like we have this strong uptrend, and then it took a break. Basically, it came back down for over 2-3 weeks now, and a lot of stocks also took, quite some of them, not all of them, have corrected quite a bit as well. But look at what happened this week. Like right here, it actually started this week early Monday. You can see it tried to come out and then it fall back a little bit. Very tight trading right here. Volume dries up right here on the sell side, and then on Thursday and Friday it really took off again. So yeah, and there's some gold stocks that are making new highs. So yeah, interesting move. Again, this gold story is not over. Jim Robel constantly talk about this. We have the Mona Lisa chart right here, a multi, 10 years, over 10 year kind of base building, and we finally broke out. I believe that was like March, probably. Yeah, March, and then April make more high, and then this month is more of a, so far has been a digestion, right, since that time, since that high right here. So this is the high, and we now digest it, coming back, let the 50-day catch up the red line, and now it looks like it's resuming again. So this slope is really strong, like really strong for gold. So yeah, so I think gold stocks might continue their run again. It's just so strong. So this is possibly another opportunity to get into gold stocks. So June 12th is the next meeting for the Fed, and 96% no change in rate. So this is very interesting, right? So definitely no cut yet. Now in Canada, the meetings are on June 5th, and I believe yeah, I don't know. I think the consensus is still no rate cut, but I think, but some of them are anticipating it. So I don't know, like, what's the numbers ratio there. So that in Canada, but let's go to July. So still no rate cut, 74%. So July in US no rate cut as well. But like I said, I think Canadians are more optimistic that there will be a rate cut. But I think yesterday's job numbers in Canada are very strong, right? 90,000 jobs. More than half is part-time. So there's one analyst who say, hey, Canada is like, 10 times smaller than US, right? So you multiply by 90 times 10, that's like 900,000. Anyhow, obviously, it's not the case, but if you were to project it, that's a crazy strong job number, right, for Canada. So anyhow, so with such a strong job number, I don't know if they'll cut rates, right? So, but like I said, a lot of people are very optimistic they'll cut rates, but I don't really think so after that job number. So it's I don't know, we'll see. But the other side of the story is that, population growth is the highest right now in Canada, right? So that's the reason why it's actually, even though there's strong job numbers, but there's still a lot of people don't have the jobs, right? And I think that's the same thing I told you about the Calgary, same problem right now.
Yeah.
So come September, we do see now a higher percentage for a rate cut in September. So 48% thinks there'll be a rate cut now in September in US. And then November stays the same. And then December, it's pretty even whether there'll be a rate cut. So market pricing at least one cut right now for September, and maybe in December. So that's the scenario. It's all going to come down to the inflation data. Yeah, so very interesting story here. We'll see what's going to happen with the CPI data. So look at this Atlanta GDP estimate for the GDP growth. For second quarter right now, it has jumped up to 4.2% on May 8th, up from 3.3% on May 2nd. So this is quite really strong. So that's a 4%. Wow, that's strong. So if this continues to be the case, you know, strong GDP, like I don't think the Fed will cut rates. That's just my opinion. So now the CNN sentiment is at neutral. We look at the timeline here. So we're near the 50 mark. So yeah. So it's not super bullish and it's not super bearish. It's just neutral, which is good, I think, in general, because it's not too bullish yet. The AAI sentiment here is 40%, which is highest since April here. So it's quite high now, the bullish sentiment here on AAI investors. Bearishness also dropped quite a bit, 23.8% from 32% previous week. So that's and then neutral 35 also dropped. So it looks like the AAI members are feeling more confident, more bullish now. So the wicks here, interesting. Like I didn't think it would drop that much that fast, but it has. So we had this really strong, you know, like I said, a few weeks of selling right here, and then the volatility came up, and then after that it dropped. It basically tanked after that. So this is quite drastic. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but at least that's what it's showing. We do have something similar right here again, and then more volatility after. But again, you know, this is VIX is going to be strictly based on the current market condition. So in terms of the accumulation distribution, you know, we are still in market in correction. IBD hasn't confirmed it yet. This is not quite unusual. Let's say very rare. Like you know, we went into market correction on April 19 based on IBD signal, and you can see the distribution was quite heavy on stocks and on many industry groups. But since April 22nd, we started to see this, you know, accumulation coming back. In general, we're still seeing accumulation coming back this last second week, and then this week we continue to see accumulation as well. So that's the good news, right? But you know, like I say, the market hasn't been confirmed yet. On terms of sectors, overall, we are seeing more strength in retail, industrials, definitely the strongest, and some financials. Commodities are, you know, very low, and health is really low. Yeah. So those are the areas. So like retail, industrial, and financials. So those are there, and tech is the lowest so far. So right now we're looking at the technology group here. There's some strength, especially in the top 50. There is some. AEYE, it's a new name, Computer Software Enterprise. Snap, still in the top, like Pins Internet. So Pinterest, Snap, really strong. We have Pi in the chip, KD in the software enterprise, Onto in the chip, BAN, IoT in the enterprise, Google Giga Cloud on the tech services, Form another chip, Inta financial software, Tyler on the enterprise software, and CVLT on the database. And there's more. There's App also doing well, software enterprise, SEMrush, internet content. We have FICO also in the financial area, but this is starting to get into the lower hundreds. So this is sorted by performance, price performance right here. So I tend to focus on the best price performing stocks, But as you go down, you're going to see names that we are more familiar with. So like A-D I was trading, but it has dropped out on my list now. Google is down here, so in the hundreds. ESTC, SPSC. So these are not too bad. It's just not at the top, right? That's all. So this one, around the 100 range is probably more better than average. It's nothing wrong with those charts. It's just not the best, not the top, right? So like if I look at Google, you can see we are on a nice uptrend right now. So yeah, so it's not like bad. Google is doing really well. Look at it. It's like, you know, it hit a new high right here, but it came back down really fast. But now it's starting to ride the 10-day again. You can see this is the 10-day line, and it's trying to bounce off it right now. It did that on Friday, and the volume dry up. So that's very important right here. So so we'll see. It's still on an uptrend, but you know, despite this chart look really good. I mean, like if you look at the weekly chart, it looks even better because it broke out right here on this base, and it climbed on really strong week. But it took after that it took a break, came back down while the 10 days catching up, and now it's kind of just riding the 10-day, and we're not quite at the 20% gain yet, but we where is it 10%, so we're halfway there, right? So again, good, nice breakout right here, great looking chart, nothing wrong with it. Google, it was on my list, but I had to sell it just because it's not the top stock. And one of the strategies I'm very focused on is pyramiding into the best stocks right now. So that's what I'm doing. But let me go back to that list again. Sorry. So yeah, Google is doing well. ESTC, SPSC, Palo Alto, that one, like crowd is down here. But those stocks are also doing well. They're coming back up, but they're just not the strongest in terms of performance compared to the other stocks. So again, you can see this nice base, long deep base, is coming back up, right? Like you can see right here. But the pace of the strength is just not as strong as the other stocks. Same thing with crowd. I do think these stocks have bottomed. Like right here, this is the base. So it has bottomed, has tested the low here like 2 weeks in a row, and now it's above the 50-day line. Again, I talked about this last video as well last week. I'm not saying the techs are not going to come back up. They are right now. You can see they are. I just don't know if they're going to lead the rally and they're the strongest. So, but right now they look really good. The chart, right? Like it's above the 10-day and making new highs, higher lows, right? So they're all on uptrend right now. So yeah, if you love techs, I think like some of these stocks are starting to build the right side of the base, and they could break out eventually. So A-net also coming back up, and let's look at A-net there. Yeah, broke out actually on Friday. So again, lots of volume. Look at those volumes, right? So this is really good sign for A-net. And again, I think like the other thing is like to consider is I'm not using the recent action as the price performance. I'm using from a month ago. So like almost like April 9th or something like around there. So that obviously when you take it into this downturn here, the price performance is not going to be as strong, right? So but if you do price performance in like say near the bottom here, A-net might be near the top. So let's put it that way. So it's not fair to say that some of the techs are not going fast. So I think A-net is one of the few that is going up really fast right now. Yeah. So I might do another list just to compare more recent action. But right now this is since April 9th, so it's not. It's been over a month now. So yeah, so that's one of the strong ones. But as even Nvidia here, right? It's doing well. Nothing wrong with it. Like it's actually near. It's above 50-day line right here. It's not near the high yet, but it's at least above the halfway range. it's near the 50-day line. So yeah, I just feel like, you know, it's not as strong as I want it to be, Nvidia. Like I was hoping that it would be more powerful this week, but it wasn't. You can see the higher volumes all red. So so that's that one. So we have TSM. So TSM report good earnings this week, and this is probably one of the more stronger one as well, because you can see it's like this is a double bottom base, and it kind of broke out on Friday right here, and on high volume too. So that's another good one. So there's lots of breakouts right now. Just put that out there. So there's lots of, like I say, lots of buying opportunities right now. A-Lab, it reported, I don't think it did that well, but it might come back a little bit. So right here, I will stop out right here, unfortunately. So this is what they call IPO base, but it fell, right? It fell. So you know, there's not much you can do. It fell on the earnings, really. That's what happened. So the chart is damaged right now, and so what most traders are saying is it's going to take more time to build this base now. So I don't know how much longer, but it did fail. So again, for some stocks, earnings hurt them quite a bit. Let me just look at the SMH. So again, we are seeing this base, and we are bouncing back. Like I said, I just don't feel it worse. It's okay. It's not like super weak or anything. But maybe it will start to bounce faster. I don't know. But it hasn't lived up to my standard so far. So it is above this trend line. So so it's now officially in an uptrend. Because it broke this downtrend. But the volume, like I said, this week has been underwhelming on the upside. So I don't know what's happening there. If you look at the software index, same thing. This one looks a lot more, I would say, uglier. Because, you know, we have this downtrend line right here. But it's still not much above the downtrend line, even though it did come across it. And so to me, it looks really weak. And we're still under the 50-day line too. So software, not very powerful at all. Yeah, so that's, yeah, so, you know, I'll come back to the top in a second. But I just think like a lot of stocks are not doing as well. Like, you know, look at Microsoft. Let's look at Microsoft. Like, I find Microsoft is a lot weaker than I want it to. So here's, you know, it still haven't come back above the 50-day line. It's like a little bit, maybe slightly above it, but again, it looks so weak on the chart. That's not the actions I want to see. Look at all this volume here, so low on the upside. Like, that's exactly the opposite you want to see. So this is something that I don't know what's happening in the marketplace. Like, it's very rare that on a rally the techs are not participating, and that's what I feel right now, is the techs are not participating in this rally. Because if they're relatively right now, they're not moving up, right? They're relatively strong. So if the market goes down from here, this guy's gonna get whacked really hard. So that's, you know, something to be aware of right now. So and I'm spending a little bit more time today on the text because I just want to show you what I'm seeing, right? Like, I'm not like, and that's what happened. Like, now we get into the bottom of this list because we start seeing, you know, Datadog get whacked, right, on earnings. So you know, the negative, like the risk reward is not balanced right now. If there's any negative news like earnings, they get whacked, and that's what happened to Datadog. So even though this was kind of looking okay prior to earnings, right? It was near the top, right here in the second half, trading a lot right here in the second half of this base. But guess what? It only took like, you know, one day, and it's now it did rebound a little bit, but you know, it's still under a downtrend, so it's just a technical rebound. And then I'm just going down this list, like ServiceNow, like why is it at the bottom of the list? This is the, you know, premier stock, and look at this recent action. It's just no power coming back up. Like the market has been on rally mode 3 weeks now, and what is this stock doing? It's doing nothing. Like, even though it's not going down anymore, but it's not doing much, and that's the problem. You know, so Meta, let's look at Meta. So Meta was doing really well before. We had this long sideway, and then boom, it came down. Again, same problem here. It's slightly better than other stocks, but it's still not, you know, really good. It's what, like, okay, you have how many? 7 days updates here, right? How many? Yeah, 7 days. Why it only came up this much? Like, if you have 7 days, I would expect it to come back up to the red line already. It still hasn't got to there. Like, why is it doing that? Like, it should be more powerful, right? Salesforce. Again, same problem. Like, what's it doing? Like, you know, you have so much strength in the marketplace, but the stock is not moving much. So the volume is just continue to go down on the updates. Look at that, like lowest volume on Friday, even though it was an update. So this is the kind of things that really puzzle me. Like, because I'm seeing some of these tech stocks breaking out, and I'm like, are tech's gonna come back, right? And you know, majority of them are just not showing that. Like Hubs, it's probably one of the few that is okay. Let's look at Hubs. But even this one, like, yeah, on the earnings news, it was going higher and then it reversed. So, like, it shouldn't happen, man. What's happening? Like, look at this trading right here. Like, oh my god. Like, I mean, how I don't know what to do, man. Like, you know, like Hubs was something that I thought was very promising, and then now it just look ugly now. So, if you can go up on strong market, what happens if the market start to come down? And then Palantir, another one that report earnings and just didn't do that well. So right here, this big drop. See, it was looking so nice. It was coming back up, and then one day, boom. Right? Now it's at near the lows again. So it is very frustrating for some of these tech stocks. Like, you know, now again, it's not like dropping like crazy, but you know. But the problem is, again, we're in a stronger rally right now. If all of a sudden the rally stops tomorrow, what's going to happen to these stocks? Like AMD, I mean, this one is probably, I don't know, the most surprising one. I just don't understand why this stock is so weak. Like, it's just so weak. Like, it started the downtrend before everyone else, and look at every bounce. It just get knocked down lower every time. Again, we have a nice week this week. Look at it. It just sell every day. Like, what's happening? You know, like, I don't know. Now, all this could change if the CPI data comes down much lower than everyone thought. You know, then maybe the growth rally may spark. So, but the good thing about the tech stocks is a lot of them they're not showing strength, but at least they seem to show signs of a bottom. It's not guaranteed because we haven't started the right side yet, but at least we have seen some bottoming process happening. That's the only good thing I've seen so far. You know, like most of them are like, you know, 2-3 weeks now near the lows, right? So this is like a bottoming process, but a lot of them haven't built the right side yet. So that's the problem. Let's look at SMC. I haven't looked at it in a long time. So this one, similar problem on the downtrend line, and this is what puzzled me the most. Is like they just couldn't come back above the downtrend line. That's very rare as well. Most of the time, especially in a rally that we're having right now, like it's not coming back above this downtrend line. Like, look at this. It just doesn't want to. How many sessions now? 4 or 5 sessions right here. Look at this right here. 3 sessions. And each time, you know, it gets harder and harder, it feels like. You know. Okay, ARM. I mean, ARM initial report that was pretty bad, and then it did what they call upside reversal, but it's still a down day. Friday it did follow through with some buying. So it's not all bad news. So we'll see. So Friday was a good action day for ARM because it did come back above the trend. So now it is above the downtrend line. So that's the good news. We'll see. Sometimes, this is the thing you want to look for, is when there's bad news, like an earnings report, it's sold off, but then it comes back, right? And we saw that in Apple and Tesla recently. They sold off on the, or they didn't have a good report, but the stock still went up, right? And those are good signs that the possible that stock has bottomed. And this is something similar to that. And we saw follow through action after that. That's even better. So yeah, it's possible this stock has bottomed. Duolingo, I mean, they got hurt bad. I had a very small position going into the earnings, and I got knocked out. Because they were looking so good. It was near breakout point, holding really tight. Obviously, it comes down to the earnings. But yeah, earnings did not do them favor. It got knocked out. Now we are new lows right here, new recent lows. So again, the risk side is just so much higher than the reward. I find that it's not even worth it to take that much risk, right? And then we have Shopify also got knocked out this week on earnings. That was like pretty bad. I think it was like 20% or something. So 18%. Yeah, on one day. That's a big drop. I don't remember the last time I saw Shopify drop that much. And then it continues on Friday. That's even worse. So yeah, so it's getting really bad for some of this. Frog got hammered on earnings as well. Again, why is Cloudflare at the bottom of this deck? CDLX too, like that's a newer name, but Cloudflare, why is this stock at the bottom of the list? Like, I mean, so not only did we have bad earnings, it dropped really significantly, and then the worst thing is we're seeing follow through action on the downside. Like, if a stock is that good, and I thought Cloudflare is, why is no one buying like this price? This is really bizarre. Like, there's a lot of bizarre things happening right now on the tech side. It doesn't look good. It felt like something bad is about to happen. Like, I don't know when, but that's what it feels like. It feels like something bad is going to happen to the tech stocks. I don't know what's happening actually. Not all bad. There are some tech leaders right now. So like I say, it's a newer name to me. They did have a good earnings report. It has already run up significantly. I didn't even know this was happening. A smaller cap stock. It pulled back to the 10-day. It's been holding the 10-day, 21-day right here, 21-day, 10-day right here. Very strong uptrend. You can see all the blues are the higher volume. So lots of buying on this stock since this uptrend began. And it's a new name, right? So a new name as in like, more recently it started to move. And this is a digital accessibility technology. So I don't know if this has more room, but it is quite high on the list in terms of strength. Number 5 on my list. Snap. I'm going to talk about Snap and Pinterest together because they're very similar. Snap, had this huge bad earnings, came back like sideways base, and then now it came up on earnings. And this is the kind of action, the opposite action I want to see, that compared to what I talked about earlier. Is they not only break out on strong earnings, like move on strong earnings. In this case, it didn't break out yet because the high is right here. It moved on strong earnings, and then it followed through on stronger action. And now it's pulling back to the 10-day. And we want to see, hopefully the volume dries up, and it did by Friday. So we'll see what happens now, whether it can find support here and continue. And then pins did break out this week. So that's even stronger action than Snap. And we saw this again, strong earnings report, guidance or whatever, and then they kind of follow through on that action. And that's what I want to see right now is, strong earnings. And if you look at the fundamentals, right, they're improving big time. So look at these numbers here. So growing pretty good. I go back to Snap. It's, like I say, I think last week I talked about Snap. I haven't traded this stock in forever. I don't even remember when's the last time. And look at these numbers here. They're turning around, right? 3 cents, 2 cents, and then 6 cents, 15 cents. So they're starting to grow again. So we'll see what happens. Right now it's a very strong slope. So that's pins and Snap at the top, near the top. Again, we'll talk about the chip stuff here. PI. In pinch, I haven't traded this stock in a long time either, but now it's moving really nicely. It's moving really fast. So again, we had this strong breakout on earnings, and it followed through action. On Thursday, the volume was quite high, but Friday it bounced back. So we'll see what happens here. Some people are obviously taking profit on Thursday. Let me see what other chip stock. Onto this one also came out on earnings on Friday. So it just came out. Form, like I said, I've been talking about this stock for a while now, a few weeks now. Like it's not many people talk about this stock, and it's not that big. 4 billion. But the chart looks really good. I mean, it's been more volatile, that's for sure. It's a smaller cap. But it's very strong action right now. You can see the breakout on earnings and then it follow through. And the slope is this strong. Look at Friday. Like, even on the selling side, nobody wants to sell. So, very strong action for let's see. So, and then we have software. So, KD. I don't think I've ever traded this stock before. And so it came out on earnings. Again, all these stocks come out on earnings. And so they could be the new leaders is what I'm trying to say here. So it followed through the action right here. So on the day after earnings, look at that. It didn't want to close at the bottom, close at the top of that range, and then the next day on Friday it followed through. So strong action. Yeah, and then we have bandwidth. So this one also came out on strong earnings. It pulling back. Right now it's trying to bounce back. We'll see what happens. It did give back quite a bit. Again, very small cap. So anything in the 20 range is going to be more volatile. IoT. So IoT getting near breakout zone. The chart looks really good. I mean, this is a very strong slope for it, for the uptrend. There's not many selling days. Here you can see there's one here. So lots of accumulation overall in terms of days of blue versus red. So that one's also acting strong. GCT continued to surprise me. Why I say that is because it's very choppy. I'm not gonna lie, and that's why not many people play this stock. But the thing is, it keep making higher lows, and so, but it's not, it's trying to, the uptrend is not as strong no more, like because I mean it's okay, but it is very choppy though. But yeah, we'll see. Because this stock, once it breaks out, it moves. That's the thing I like about it. But let's say it's going to be choppy though, even if it moves. So and that's what we're seeing right now. It hasn't break out yet, and it's already this choppy. So you gotta have patience with this one. Intel is the financial. We'll look at a couple more stock. So this one also came on earnings, and it followed through action. Lots of volume. Look at that. Looks pretty good. Yeah, so that's Intel. And then we have CVLT, database side. So this one is a nice uptrend right now. Look at that. How many days? Like 11 days. Nice breakout. Look at this volume. Just insane volume. Look at the weekly chart. I mean, this is by far, I think this is the leader on the database side. The other one is ESTC. It hasn't come out as much as I like. The bounce is definitely a lot weaker. Like, look at this week, it hasn't moved. I thought this would be a leader, but it turns out CVLT is the leader in that area, in that group. There's one more, but I forget the name now. App was another surprising one. This week came out on earnings on Thursday. Look at this bounce right here. So we just broke out right here. So this could continue its run. Yeah, very strong. I mean, this one, this whole run right here, you can see the skies. This is what Jim Rappel always called the skyscraper volume. Like, those are the skyscraper volume. So every time you see those skyscraper volume, institutions are piling in, and they're gonna hold on to those stock. Right? And app loading is it's getting bigger now, 23 billion. So those are some of the few ones that are pretty strong. A lot of analysts talk about Amazon this week. It's the reason why it's making new high. So that's the reason why everyone talk about it. Right here, Thursday make new high. Friday give back. So we'll see. Volume dry up on the sell side on Wednesday. So yeah, it looks good. Amazon looks good. We'll jump to Apple. So Apple looks really good, the chart. Why? Because it's now above all the moving averages, including the 200-day. And not only that, it came above it on this gap up, and that was the earnings day, and it holds, and that's a strong sign of strength. So nobody wants to sell at this level right now. So it most likely will go higher. So Tesla, have the almost similar action, but different outcome. So it gap up on the 50-day, but it couldn't hold. You can see it's starting to fall back down. Actually started a downtrend now, with a resistance line right there. So yeah, Tesla looking much weaker. I'm gonna bring in one more stock, even though it's not fully tech. Well, it's kind of half tech, half retail. Netflix. I do like this stock quite a bit. Like, I don't own it, but I'm just saying I do like it because yeah, like, recently it obviously fell like many other tech stocks did, but look at how tight this action is, and then look at this uptrend right now. It's pretty strong slope. It's holding right now above the 50 days, and this is the action you want to see. After it goes through a moving average like 50-day, it's holding, right? It's holding, and it doesn't even want to touch the red line. So this is good news for Netflix. It's near new high. It's not highs yet, but it's near. And so yeah, I don't know if this is the all-time high. So we're not that far from all-time high either. So yeah, so Netflix looking really good. I'm just gonna go back to Amazon. I want to see. Yeah, Amazon, see, it make new high, right? So this is all-time high. So that's good news for those two stocks. And that both of them are retail, which is kind of surprising that the retail stocks in some way are still doing pretty good. And if we look at Apple, and the reason why I keep coming back to Apple is because it's doing much better than most people think. Like, it came back quite a bit. Like, it fell hard, but it came back. Like, this is the fall right here. but he's come back quite fast. Like, you know, this is the slope right here compared to that slope. So that's why I say it's very surprising how fast Apple's coming back up. Yeah, the reason why I spend more time on tech is just because a lot of people focus on tech, and and I want to share with you why, like, I spend so much time, because I want to share that, hey, you know, yes, techs are always good. They tend to lead in the rally, but this time I feel different, right? It hasn't shown the strength I want to see, and I show you lots of stocks just now, and that's proven the point. But on the other sectors, I feel like the stocks that are leading are showing lots of strength, and they continue to power higher, and that's where you know, I feel like there's more strength there. And you know, with that being said, like, it's also diversification. Like right now, I feel like, you know, not one sector dominate the market, and that's a good sign, right? If we want to see a broader rally, we want to continue to see every sector continue to see more stocks breaking out and continue to go higher. So yeah, I'll just jump right in it. Like, one of the stocks that really helped my portfolio this week is widen. I was really surprised how powerful the earnings report was. And right now, the chart is kind of squished now, but before, the action right here was so strong. Like, it's probably the best chart out there. Like, this rise right here, like, it was so smooth and so easy to hold. And then it came to here, it built this nice flat base. And I didn't hold any of this stock right here. Like, I keep passing on it. And when it started to hold sideways like this, it was so tight. I said I gotta start building positions, and I think you can see some of my green arrows here. I start building there and right here. So then we had this nice, like, say, earnings, you know, report. It gave back on Friday, so we'll see what happens. But you know, if this rally were gonna continue, like, I want to hold on to this stock, right? Because, you know, it could be like a SMCI type of stock. You know, it's already acting like SMCI. So yeah, and this is in the food meat products category, which is usually very boring. You know, there's no action, right? But now it's just a completely different story. So so yeah, it has, like I said, it has gone up. Like, on the weekly chart, you can see how much it has gone up already, and the volume continue. Like, you know, it probably wise to sell some here just because it has gone up so much. We'll see what happens. Like, I'll give it a couple more days and see what happens. But yeah, let's see what's gonna happen there. There's probably, like, Elway is another food category. So go in here again, very strong uptrend. You can see recently it was very choppy right here, and this 2 days here, I don't even remember what happened. Yeah, I've owned this stock, and yeah, I've been adding more shares recently after this shakeout. This is a big shakeout right here, this day right here. This is the highest volume shakeout day right now, right here. But because this stock has a nice uptrend move right here, give back, then yeah, and then now it looks more smooth now because it's still very choppy. You can see the trading range are really high, but this stock has potential to move. You know, that's what it's shown me. It has potential to move, so we'll see. But it's definitely volatile. The other area that's showing strength here, you can see consumer service education, ATGE, LRN, STRA. There's probably a couple more, but they're not at the top. So let's look at those. ATGE. So some of these stocks, again, have gone through a long correction, didn't do much. This one came up and then fell on earnings, and then came back. This reminds me of Snapchat, right? Very similar to Snapchat. So it came out on earnings, and it followed through on that earnings so far. Hasn't looked back yet. And this is, again, very similar chart. You have the down day, the one down day. Look at where it closed at the top. LRNs, another education stock. Again, look at this nice uptrend right now. look at this dry up in volume on Friday. Not only it didn't want to go much lower, nobody want to sell. There's no volume. So that looks really good. Strong uptrend line. What was the other one? STRA, Australia. So these are all education stocks, all near the top. So same broke out right here. Follow through on the second day, third day start to pull back. So far it hasn't touched the green line. And Friday it did have a ugly reversal. So that is a problem. So we'll see what happens. But so far it hasn't touched the green line, and that's quite impressive. Consider how much it have moved, right? And again, we come back to the list here. This is since a month ago, this performance, right? So up 16%. Okay, now let's jump to restaurants. Kava. There's lots of restaurants on this list, but I noticed some of the restaurants kind of not moving as fast anymore. They were moving really fast a week or two ago, and then now it's starting to slow down. So CMG, Wing, yeah, let's look at those. So Kawa. So Kawa is definitely one of the strong ones. You can see, like, I've been adding almost every day. Like, this stock is just so powerful. So again, what are we seeing here? We saw this strong uptrend from this nice cup, and where you want to buy in on the right side, that's up to you. But that's what happened. This strong uptrend. I did sell here, and then I try a few times here coming back as it go down. It didn't work, obviously. And then finally, volume came in, and that's probably when it start to work again. And it does test the short-term moving average ones here, and then now it's been very smooth now, not touching the 10-day. So yeah, and look at the sell side volume is dry up as well recently. So that's also like this I talked about this. Oh, I didn't talk about this. Is this week, but this is something I saw. Like those 2 down days, I was like, why is it not closing at the bottom? That's number one. Number two is, why is it not making new lows? Right, the second day didn't make a newer low than the first red day. So those are signs there are people buying, accumulating this stock, or they just don't want to sell. And then after that, it just took off again, and then so now the stock is near 80. Very strong stock. Let's look at Chipotle. Also very strong uptrend. You can see this uptrend is very strong. Like, it's been going on for a while now. And it did make new high this week. Yeah, so and it's sitting above the 10-day. Very nice, very nice. Wing. Yeah, a lot of restaurant stocks are on the uptrend right now. So this is the uptrend right now. Wing, it didn't make new high this week, so I unloaded it. But overall, it's a good stock. It's just I'm like I say, I'm pyramiding into the best stocks right now. So if the market is up this week and it's not up much, I'm gonna get rid of it just because I'm gonna put the money into the best ones. So but overall, Wing is still strong. Texas Roadhouse, another uptrend stock. Again, breakout, move up, very nice. So this uptrend is really strong. You can see. I don't know why Friday the volume. Super, like this is when you talk about dry up volume. Look at this one. This is dry up volume. Nobody wants to sell, man. So I think this is still a good stock, but it's not ranked really high because it hasn't moved up much, So it's hard. Like, that's the thing, right? When you compare, like for me, I compare every stock. So Wing is at 103 right now on my list, so I had to get rid of it too. So these are some of the stocks I bought really early on. So I'm pyramiding into the best stock. Again, this is my strategy as we talked about this last week. Yeah, so that's that one. Let me see what else. So this Prime Water, non-alcoholic drink. They did report earnings, but I don't know. It went up on earnings right here. Really strong, but it came back down. So that was not a good action. But the next day it did kind of go back up again, but it closed at the bottom. So I don't like it when it closed at the bottom. So we'll see. I'm still holding on this stock, but like I said, it's starting to show some weakness. What was the other one? It was GTN, Media, Radio, TV, Melly's here. Shark Ninja. So Shark Ninja, I haven't owned it for a while. Like I never owned it. But it's showing really strong action. Like it went up on earnings, and this chart is looking really strong right now. Like I'm starting to like this chart. Of course, just all these stocks are all extended, right? So when you buy at higher buy points, you're taking more risks, right? So because if the market goes down, this stock will go down hard too. So, but anyhow, with that being said, like I said, it's a strong uptrend. It just broke out not that long ago. So I still think like I said, this is definitely on my watch list right now. And look at this volume right here. Like look at this. How many weeks of blue? I knew about Shark Ninja many times before. I just never really got into it. Right now, the numbers are fundamentals has turned up after this report. Look at this report. Like look at the future guidance. Like crazy, triple digit now. Like so that's why it's now on my list. Okay, it wasn't on my list before, but now because of those fundamentals, it's on my list. PDD. IBD wrote about it this weekend. Temu has 319 million downloads on the app in the last year. I don't exactly know which time frame, but that was the 1 year download. That's impressive. In fact, every time I browse my Google News now, at least one of the advertisers is Temu. And that's what the article talk about. That's their strategy, is to advertise it so that people are aware about this brand. And of course, I was reading about the article from IBD. It says, compared to Amazon, it's obviously, is it a challenger, all that stuff, right? And the only, because my wife shot on Temu, and she said the difference is like, to get free shipping, you have to buy a certain amount, but there's no membership cost or anything, as far as I know. I don't know, but it does take longer because it comes from China. So yeah, so I don't know, but when they have sales, they're like 90% off on some items. It's crazy. So so that's what my wife likes. She likes those, look for those sale items. Anyhow, so they're doing, but the stock hasn't been reacting as well. Okay, now Jim Robel loved this stock, but he, because the earnings are just strong, like super strong, and so the growth is there, but the stock hasn't reacted well, recently, and that's because of the Chinese economy. But now it has turned up. You can see the slope is much stronger now, so that's why, like I did add shares into this stock, but this week it didn't make much progress. So that again, we'll see. But it is trading really tight, and the volume is drying up. So potential leader, potential. Right now it's ranked 78, so it's not that far down. So yeah. Some of the previous leaders, ANF, like I don't have it right now, but it's on my list, watching list. It's actually I think I traded it, and yeah, I did get out on Friday. Actually, I did get out. So Friday, again, nothing wrong with this chart, but I have to start pyramiding, so that's why I sold it. But it's a strong chart as well, and it's starting to come back out. It's already came back from the downtrend. But this was a previous leader, as you saw here. So very strong. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I think the retails are not bad at all. So let's jump to the next sector, industrial. This is where all the strength is right now. I'm really excited about industrial because they're making powerful moves. Like I mean, look at this list right here, like top 60, like they have a lot of stocks. And right now, some of these are newer names to me. Zim, you know, the transportation ship group, like Zim is the #1 right now, but it's starting to move, this whole group. And usually when they move, they do move. So, but you know, obviously this is on a long-term downtrend, built another base here, now it finally moves. So we'll see. Because, you know, if I take away the box here, let's take away all boxes. Right here, this is a strong move right here. I remember this was, yeah, I don't know what happened here. I don't know. I thought this had been traded longer. I can't remember. Maybe I got confused with another name. But anyhow, so yeah, so we'll see. Like when it moves, it moves. So you know, so that's why. And it does. Look at this movement right now. It's just really powerful move right here. Like, and the volume. Look at this volume continue to go up. So whenever volume continue to go up, it's usually a good sign because it just means more and more people want to acquire the shares. And only at the beginning of a breakout, right? Versus once the stock goes up a lot, like near the, you know, goes up like a lot of percentage, and then at the top you see volume. Like let's say keep going higher and then you see same thing like volume go up. Like to me that is the opposite, right? So that's why when you look at volume, you want to see where it is in terms of the base. You know, so here is people are buying because it's breaking out. Whereas here, once it moves like I don't know how many percentage points, people are selling as it moves up because the volume getting higher. So two different story, right? So this is the near the beginning of the breakout. So this is good news. As the volume goes up higher, and you see that, you know, right here, right, volume goes up as it moves up, and then here's the breakout point. The volume has one negative week, but negative volume week, like high volume, but it was closing near the middle range. And then see the volume here rise up after this run here, and the volume rise up 3 days in a row. It has already gone up a lot, and so that's, you know, negative now. And eventually it came back down. So yeah, so look at this highest volume on the selling side right here. So near the bottom. So people selling, people all rushing out, and guess what? That's the bottom, right? So it's always the opposite. So that's something that you have to train your eyes when you read a chart. Where is it relatively when you're looking at volume? Because it's not all equal. Just, you know, so right now it's a good sign because it's breaking out and higher volumes coming in, meaning there's more demand for this stuff. Okay, so that's Zim. But yeah, there's not, like, I think the whole group is starting to come up, but this is the only one on my list right now. ASPN, chemical specialty, very impressive stuff so far. Look at how many days up now since it moved. So this is super volume breakout, and then it followed through almost every day. That is impressive. Now volume is starting to go lower now, so we'll see what happens. But it's just impressive. Like every day, it doesn't want to go down. Like that's very rare. So I don't want to talk about this. I was briefly mentioning, okay. But there's something called high tide flag. High tide flag are when like a stock go up like significantly, really fast, right? So it goes like this. It goes up, almost look like this. It goes up. And then it goes sideways, like very tight, and it looks almost like this, like it has this pattern. And then it shoots up again. This is what they call a high tide flag pattern. And you know, because I'm seeing so many stocks falling through on their breakout, a lot of them are starting to form something like this. So I'm just putting out there that, you know, if we do see this rally prolong, some of these stocks gonna run a lot. Despite, you know, even if you think they already run like 42% in this case, you know, it could run even more in a short time frame. So just want to put this out there. I'm not saying this stock particularly will do that. I'm just saying watch out for this pattern, because some of those stocks are gonna do it if this rally continues. And I'm seeing so many of that pattern that I feel like this could happen this time. It's very rare, just so you know. Very rare that it happens. But I'm just seeing so many stocks breaking out and they just continue to follow through, and it makes me feel like I said, this kind of pattern is working right now. It's a lot of risk, right? Because you're buying after it went up so much, but if you do see that pattern and it start to move again, there's a potential for it to move even more. Diversified operation, PHG. This stock is just like GE, both in that same group. It came out and then it kind of went sideways, and then it broke for 1 or 2 days, but it's not really broken, right? Because the 10-day moving average is still catching up, and so it hasn't touched the green line as well. So now it's starting to move back up. So it has digested and is now going. I'm going to jump to GE. GE, I mean, this stock just, if you look at, this chart is just an energizer bunny. It just continues to go up, and it does come back though, right, to this short-term moving average. And right now it's doing that again. But, I don't know when it's going to stop. But so many times it has bounced back, right? So I don't know. At some point it's not going to bounce back. So just be cautious. Let me come back to my list. I think GE, because it has dropped this recent week, it's not in the top 100 anymore. Okay, so next one, Powell. This one, I think came out earnings really good as well. It's starting to digest. That's starting to digest for a week now, and then it's starting to move again. So this is good. This is good. So it looks like the digest might be finished, possibly, and we'll see. And then we have even CNBC talk about this. The aerospace defense group is so strong. A-Wealth is one of them in that group. Look at this slope right now. It's just insane. It breaks out. Look at Friday where it closed near the middle. Very strong. There's a lot of stocks in this group. HWM is another one. Aerospace defense. Again, breakout. What does it do? Follow through. And this is a really good action, because it makes it easy to hold this stock, right? If you own it, because the follow through action just has so much power in it. So that's HWM. Let me see. There's more. WWD is another one. Let's look at that one. Another one in that group. Again, so IBD has this new feature now, right? Like ants, they call it. So that's when it rises for like how many, I don't know how many days they start counting. But once you start seeing ants, it means like there's some power behind this move. Eventually it will stop, but it's just trying to show there's strength in the move. Look at this volume here. Oh my god. Look at this volume. This is insane volume. So Friday it did come back down a little bit, we'll see. But the green line, which is a 10-day short-term moving average, is still very much below it, so it makes sense that it digests a little bit. So we'll see if the volume will die down on the selling side. Batch meter, BMI. This is machinery, general, industrial. Look at this chart. I mean, doesn't touch the green line. This is the best chart I love, is when you see it doesn't touch the green line. Eventually it will, but even then, you don't know. This like stocks like this remind me of VRT, right? Like, where's VRT on this list? I'm trying to figure out. Right here. So VRT is right there. I mean, even this one touched the green line, right? But yeah, I mean, but it rides it. So that's the key. Right now, it's riding it again. So, looking really strong. General Bell is saying that he might start to, he doesn't own this stock before, but there's so much talk about AI that these guys who provide the equipment for the electrical stuff, they could be in a really long cycle of a bull run. I mean, this guy already ran a lot. I mean, look at the weekly chart. This is insane. I mean, If you started out around 20, look at where it's now 100. This is in a very short time frame, like less about a year. I mean, this is as good as an Nvidia, you know. So, but now, like CNBC even talked about this on Friday, where now investors are starting to get not into just the chip plays, but they're starting to get into the power plays, the electrical power, guys. And so a lot of them are moving hard right now. So let me see if we can find them. They're not all in the top, but they're starting to move. So ITRI is electrical. Let me see, look at that one. Yeah, it's starting to move. Look at this strength right now. So that's ITRI. FN electrical. This is also coming up. So this move on earnings. So this is not as strong, but it is moving. Let's see why. CAMT, another one. Electrical. Broke out. So see, some of these guys are breaking out right now. So CMT. So we'll see. It did pull back on Friday. Yeah, so those are some of the other guys doing well. And then you have this one, EE utility gas, also coming out right here, really strong chart. Yeah, utilities are, like I said, in some ways doing really well, especially if it has something to do with AI power stuff. They're really doing well. Let me see what else. We have commercial, Aldos, KEX. Oh, this is another one, transportation ship. So KEX. So just like ZIM, this is, I'm gonna assume this is bigger. Let's see, 460,000. Yeah, this is, you know, yeah, look at this chart. Pretty strong slope, right? So it digests right here, come back to the green line, which is the 10-day, and then it bounced. It never even touch it. It never even touch it. So again, one of those characters. Okay, another utility, NRG. So lots of utilities doing really well right now. So it has this one ugly day here. I don't know what that day was about. I don't know if it's yeah, it could be the earnings day. But then it kind of continue after that. So very crazy move. Yeah, and then we have WebTag, SPXC, Mod, still down, heating product. They're still doing well. It's not at the top, but they're still doing well. Mod. So it's trying to break out right now. FIX also in that area. This one already break out. So nice slope. Looking good. Yeah. There's another one, aerospace defense here. MOG, MOG. And then APH, electronic. These are good. Then we have health. So on the health side, we're seeing medical products. LMAT, GMAT, LNTH, TMDX. That whole group is like starting to move up. And that group, when they move, like it's kind of like transportation ship. When they move, they move. So this is insane slope right now. Like that's like, I don't know, almost 70-degree angle. TMDX is the leader right now. So we'll see how far this goes. It's very strong so far. What was the second one? LNTH. LNTH. Here's another one. Again, most of this bounce hard on earnings, but they all follow through. It's very important. Then we have hospitals, THC, MIGN on the research side, system and equipment, PRCT, Teva on the drugs. Notice, you know, Lilly and NVO is not here. So again, I also talked about that in the last 2 weeks of videos. You know, the leadership is a little bit different this time, I find. Like, I'm not saying they're crashing or anything, it's just not performing as strong as some of these other guys, right? So that's Lily. This is NMO. Look at them. They're still building base right now. It may come out, but it hasn't. That's the problem. And one guy was saying, Scott Sinclair, he was saying it's been almost a month, like 3 good weeks of rally. If your stock still is nowhere near the buy point or breakout, then it's it's probably unlikely it will be the leader, right? So yeah. Anyhow, RDNT is also doing well. Even the diversified guy like AstraZeneca doing well. Amgen obviously. So Amgen has that one powerful day. Let's see what happens after. Yeah, look at this weekly chart. Looks good. It's holding strong. So it came out on one day and then it kind of pulled back, and then after that, what did it do? It bounced as it digests. So green line is catching up now. So this is a strong slope. Whenever I look at the green line, it's always look at where it pulls back. When it pulls back, does it want to come close to the green line? Because it's going to give it time for the green line to catch up. And you can see right here clearly, as it get close to it, it bounces. That's, to me, is a sign of strength. And when you see that, I usually don't hesitate. Like, either I add more shares or I acquire a new position if I don't have that. So this is very good. And, yeah, that's Amgen. So health overall is okay. It's not the strongest group, but it is some stuff. And then we have commodities. Commodities also weakening. The only area that's there's some obviously gold stocks we talked about earlier. So and then steel. This one I've been talking about this one for a while now. So there's 2 steel here, CRS, USFP, very strong. Yeah. So you can see this 10-day moving average right here. It hasn't come close to it. It hasn't come close to it. That's amazing strength. USAP, same thing. This is the last time it touches it. And then I start buying after that. So again, I was come late to this stock, but it did make my list, and now I own it, and it's very powerful. It is a little bit extended now above the upper channel line. So I'm not sure what will happen. ASC, there's some transport pipeline also moving up. So you can see a few here. ASC, so here's the earnings, and then look at what it did the second day. It came down and then closed at the top. That's strength. Wednesday, I mean, it does happen sometimes. It opens stronger and then close weaker, but it's still fairly close to the last few days. LPG. I don't like Friday's reversal, so I let go of this stock. But overall, it's still a really good stock. So that's LPG, and then we have Sting. Doing really well right now. I don't own this stock, but it's doing really well. And then let's see what other group. The energy alternative, that one is also doing well. So there's this GEV and MNTK Rex. Where's the one that I keep? Yeah, I don't know what happened to CEG. I don't know why it's not on this list. CEG is also there. Yeah, CEG right here, looking really good. It's probably have a negative earnings, I'm guessing, going forward. That's usually why it's not on my list. Yeah, GEV is the GE Renova from GE, and look at this chart. It's just so. I'm gonna say possibly the strongest IPO right now is this stock. Besides Cava, but these two are pretty strong. And again, this one has very strong characteristics because it pulls back, it didn't touch the 10-day, right? And then it bounced. So that's really strong. Strong action right there. Let's see what other groups there is. Mining, right? AEM, like all these are gold, right? WPM, there's copper still there. Newmont Mining, right? One Chemical, Agricultural, FMC, PAS, AGI, all these are gold stocks. So yeah, let's look at a couple of them. AEM, WPM. So AEM, look at this one, making new high. So even though gold wasn't like doing well the last few weeks, this stock really just keep making higher lows. Very strong. I don't own this, I wish I did. WPM, I did own this, but then I sold out. Now it's at new high. It did reverse on Friday, so that's not looking good right there. So I don't know. I feel like the gold story is strong, like, you know, the gold price stuff, but then the stocks, most of them are okay, but it's very choppy. That's the problem. Right? Let me go look at one more. Newmont Mining and AGI. So this one look more like the price chart. It kind of fall back and then come back, right? But again, very choppy on Friday. But doesn't mean it won't keep going up. Yeah, that's Newmont Mining. AGI, one more. Okay. So again, commodity is not the strongest area, other than, like I said, there's some pocket of strength, but I just find it very hard to trade right now, because they're so choppy. But they're okay. Okay, financials. Okay. So this one, OSCR, is a little bit it's in the insurance, health insurance. So it's health related, but it's also financial, right? It's a newer name for me, but the chart looks so nice. Like, this is really tight trading, and this is like completely opposite of like the gold stuff that we just saw. Like, this is nice chart. Like, this is a 10-day line, and you know, so we'll see if this pullback will touch this 10-day line or it will bounce off. We'll see. But this is a nice cup action. There's a little handle here. Newer name, but it is in the $20 range. So, but like I said, even for a $20 stock, this is trading like a, like I said, the chart looks beautiful. I like this stock a lot. So we'll see. It is number 3 on the list. HG, another newer name. So let's take a look. Very choppy, this one, you can see right away. But it is very powerful right now, and it's probably extended, definitely extended. But it's near the breakout point. So, but I don't know, because the 10-day is so far below because of this powerful move. I mean, there's like 1, 2, 3 powerful days right here, came to the right here. So I'm gonna expect some digestion here. But so far, yeah, it has moved. So again, $16 stock, expect a lot of volatility. BMA, this one for a bank that is, you know, supposed to be, let me see, 400,000 shares. Oh, I gotta put on the boxes again. 4 billion cap. This is a bank in Argentina. You can see the weekly chart, pretty good action. Here's the run right here. This is the current rally. Very strong trend, very strong. But it does move quite a bit. Like, I noticed it moved like 2, 3, 4% every day. So, you know, so it is a little bit more volatile, but the uptrend is there, and it's very strong. AX, financial, JXN, insurance. These are all very powerful stocks right now. These are probably the smaller cap guys right now. So, yeah, 3.4 billion. This one just broke out. JXN. Jackson Financial, this one 5 billion cap. Look at this chart, so nice. It report earnings this week, and it did okay. Yeah, it did okay. And Friday give back, so we'll see what happens as the 10-day catch up. Yeah, those are really good stuff. NBC, NBIN, Toast came out with good earnings. Yeah, this one came out. So look at how tight this trade. That's really nice. MCY is the next insurance guy. So the insurance, you know, they're still going. They're still going. So this is the 50-day, 10-week moving average. It's still strong slope. They're still going, insurance. EMV, CTR, AXX, Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs is 93. XP is 100. They're both really good, large cap stock. And they're doing really well. Look at that, right? So I did take my profit on Goldman Sachs, just because it's now like not going as fast anymore, but it's still going up, right? And then XP, same thing. You know, it didn't move here, so I got out, but it did come again, so it looks okay. So overall, like, you know, there's a lot of other ones. I think the financials are okay, like, you know, like as we saw, accumulation wise is you know, third group in this case on this week. And industrial number 1, retail number 2. That's where the strength is. Thank you for watching this video. If you're still watching, please like and subscribe. Until next time.